Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on this chat, and for those of us that have joined this community for a very long time, welcome, welcome. If you need to join the community, you are new, you're just watching this for the very first time, just know that we have an amazing global community of people that are growing together, people that are creating their brands, people that are consistently seeking to grow in knowing what the purpose of their existence on earth, and just to build a better relationship with God and a better relationship with money. Oh, I love money. When I talk about money, I even smile. Yeah, I know I love so many things in the world, but let me tell you, life with money, it becomes simple. But again, you just don't get money. That is why today I felt the need to respond to the question that I've been getting from the community for a very long time. I'd prepared other things, but this has tugged on my heart for quite a long time, and I feel the need to be able to address it, because most of you have been asking that. It has been repeated and repeated whenever we are doing these business chats, and you're saying, how do I land brand deals? And surprisingly, for so many of us, actually, it's people that have not even created a brand that want to land brand deals. Like, you have not started on anything. That means that in this chat, we are actually starting from zero. Now, there are those of you that have already have started on the journey of creating your personal brands. And if you want to know more about creating your personal brand, then join the Mentorship Academy. Let's create, let's hone, let's craft a personal brand for yourself. And the good thing about the Mentorship Academy is we take the faders up to all at the same time, because there are so many of you that feel the need to be people helpers. You feel the need to be a coach. You feel the hunger, the longing to be a counselor. You feel the hunger, the longing, to be a consultant, in a certain industry or in a certain field. There are some of you that just are mad about speaking. You are crazy about speaking. When you see public speakers, you see yourself on those global platforms, and you're saying, you know what, one day I'm going to be that person. Oh, she speaks. There's so many of you that have met me and have told me the same thing, that, you know what, one day I'm going to be like you. I'm going to speak like you. That means there's an attraction inside of you towards this kind of gifting. And it's very possible because some of you have not exposed yourself. Maybe you've grown up in areas where you were not exposed enough. But again, you feel like, yes, I've not gotten a chance to do this, but I feel that if I ever got a chance, I would actually maximize it, and I will be able to do it. And I will tell you, that gut feeling that you have right inside of you is not lying. It is telling you, it is attracting you, it is gravitating and tilting towards what it thinks God created it for. Because the ultimate, I will tell you, the ultimate, it is finding or knowing the reason as to why you are existing and living for that purpose. Because if you live a purposeless life, then life is just going to be boring. Life is just going to be meaningless. Life is you are going to be exhausted. And it's better to get exhausted while doing something you love, while doing something you think you were created for. But to get exhausted by doing nothing, that is like, it's a loss at all fronts. It is actually a loss. All right, so today I want us to be able to talk about that. How do you even start to identify that? How do you even start before we even talk about landing the brand deals? Because the brand deal, by the time you get to the level of getting the brand deals, and for those of you that don't understand, getting the brand deals is when people create personal brands, the companies and organizations are able to be able to they want people to endorse their brands. They want people to do that influencer marketing. They want people to to carry their brands. So this is what happens. So most of you have seen me carry other brands, okay, big and small. But someone approaches you, or a company approaches you, and is like, you know what we want is to be able to collaborate with you on this deal. We want to be able to get more visibility in the market. We want to be able to get more purchases. The brands and the companies usually have targets. So what they want is to be able to hit those targets. For example, when I was doing the deal with Fresh Diary, they really wanted to target the women. And so we had to come up with a proposal. We had to, you know, paint a picture, what we do, what Bahati stands for, and it's all about empowering women. And so we had the Hold My Hand sessions where women, like 200 women would gather in the room, and Fresh Diary would feed them, you know, give them tea, give them all that, but go through with the empowerment, go through with the mentorship. And in so doing, up to now, years after, you realize there's so many people that find me and tell me, I started taking Fresh Diary because of you, Bahati. I started, whenever I go to a supermarket, whenever I look at the fridge and there is milk, as in the only milk I'm seeing is Fresh Diary. I'm not seeing all the other brands. Why? Because I know that I mean, it's so synonymous to Bahati. So that means that it is attached to your brand, and so I end up picking it, and I end up being the only thing that I want to consume with my household. So you realize that it gives value to the company. Meanwhile, it also gives value to you and value to the people that actually follow you. But where did the journey start? The journey started for me when I decided to, not even knowing, by the way, by then I didn't know I was creating a personal brand, but I decided to choose a niche. I decided to choose one thing that I would be known for. I remember at that time I was still in a certain room in Chireka. So many of you have heard of my stories, the carrot story and what. That is back in the day. You know, when you're going hungry, you don't have food. Back at home, they don't have food. You know, you've enrolled back to campus. You don't know how you're going to survive, but you're thinking life must have a forward movement. You know, I'm not going to get stuck. I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't know how things are going to fall in place, but life must have a forward movement. Now, some of you wait until life is good for you to want to create anything or to even identify anything. Now, for me, I came from a background where my family was broken. I came from a background where everything was shattered about me. You know, coming from a broken family, going through your own hurdles, you know, going through your own heartbreaks, going through your own like lack of food and everything. You're isolated, you're alone, but again, there is something inside of you. You feel like doing something, and so many of you call it the Holy Spirit, so many of you call it the intuition, so many of you call it the gut feeling, whatever it is. I know that you have had that gut feeling that tells you do this, do this. Some of the things that you have done that have been successful, no one told you to do them, but you did them. And you know, fast forward, you are where you are right now, and you're like, but no one told me to do that. So that is my scenario exactly. I didn't know there was anything to do with building brands. I didn't know there was anything to do with being a celebrity. I didn't know there was anything to do with that. So I sat with my pain, and I usually say it a lot in the mentorship and say that some of our purposes are born out of pain. Some of our purpose is born out of pain. So I sat in my room. I was lonely. I didn't know anything to do, you know, no food, nothing. And I just decided, I remember there was this old computer that someone had kept with me, actually just kept with me. So I decided to switch it on. I decided to switch it on, and then I decided that, you know what, you know, I've seen people, this is the era of Facebook. I've seen people posting here and there. And the first time for me to actually know about Facebook, that should have been in 2009, 2007. You know, someone came, and it was a gentleman, a youth, a boy, actually, a young boy. Back then, I just started radio because my first job was actually on as a prayer warrior, and then the next one was on radio. So now I'm on radio. I'm trying to sit in for everyone, and this boy comes from the US, and you know, the parents had sent him down here to learn some lessons, you know, because he was living a soft life. So when he came, they put him on my show, and they're like, oh, you're going to host the Saturday show with Bahati. And I was like, cool. So he comes, and instead of being on the surfing computer, because we used to search for quotes and search for such things, so for him, he just opened Facebook. When he opened Facebook, you see pictures, and so I'm asking him, so these pictures are these are people back at home and stuff like that. So like, it was an era where even Facebook was not that prominent. So fast forward, now I know about Facebook. I see people posting on Facebook. So I'll also start posting my heart. I don't know what else to post. I post about relationships because that is my background. I'm heartbroken. I come from a broken family. I don't know anything else. That is my pain, and I am just putting my pain out there. And I'm just saying, you know, I loved seeing thriving relationships, but more than anything for me, it was I just hated the pain that came with people being taken for granted, with people being toxic. So I started writing about that. I remember people asking me, but do you have a problem? What exactly is the problem? And I did not mind. I closed my mind, I closed my eyes to everyone who wanted to say whatever they wanted to say, and I stuck to one thing. Every day I posted something. Now when I posted, fast forward, when I came to the time of wanting to actually start up, now I've gone back to school and, you know, I'm getting into counseling. I didn't know that this was a niche, but again, I wanted to continue with relationships. So when I was given the first time to actually be on radio, I talked about relationships. So you see, I was carving out. So most of the people that know Bahati, they know Bahati and toxic relationships, Bahati and narcissistic relationships. So that means I carved out a niche that I really thought at that time. I didn't talk about a niche that was sellable, that was marketable. For me, it was about my pain. So some of you are going to choose niches. Some of you are going to talk about things. Some of you are going to counsel on things, speak on things that are really coming from your pain, but seeking to help other people so they don't incur or they don't go through the same pain that you have gone through. Some of you are just going to choose a niche and say, you know what, I'm a mother, so I want to be able to talk about motherhood. I want to be able to talk about marriage, not necessarily coming from pain, but coming, being that this is something that you're doing on the daily, so you can decide to do it. Some people are in fashion because they found themselves in fashion. They already have boutiques, and so it is easy for them to actually tie in a niche that comes from having a boutique. All right, so that means that you need to be known for something specific, a specific field, you know, and then you have a platform that on which you post and you are discoverable, whether that is Instagram, whether that is Facebook. You choose whatever you think is going to work for you, and definitely you have to think about the people that are going to consume you, because these days it's about strategy. You don't want, and that is why I actually have the Mentorship Academy, because I have taken this journey. For me, has taken 20 years, but again, it doesn't have to take 20 years for you to get to where I am. Do you know that this journey can be condensed into 6 months max, and you will be out there running and flying and doing wonderful things? I see some of the people I have actually coached, I see some of the people that I have mentored, and I'm like, the success they are experiencing, this is success I touched best with, or I experienced on the 7th year, on the 8th year or 10th year of my career and my exposure, or my building the brand. But again, they've been able to experience that in the first year. In the second year, they hit the ground running, and they are doing amazing things. They are landing brand deals. They you know, and I've held their hands. Most of them, I remember one of them came to me, one of them that is really doing so well in the market, came to me and told me that, you know what, I can see you're doing some brand endorsements. How do I get into this? So I gave her exactly what I'm giving you, is what I sat down with her and gave her the packages, to the pricing, to everything. And she was like, okay, that is it. And she told me, okay, can you give me some of your pitching and your proposals, the ones that you have given out, so that I can know exactly how to go about that. And I was like, they are yours, because you are in my community. You can actually have them so that you can craft your own thing that is actually sellable. All right, so it's not about being perfect. It's not about being, aesthetics are really, really important, but it's about the consistency of you carving out that particular niche and then knowing where you are going to actually being posting, and then how discoverable you are, because people need to be able to find you. That means that you're going to do multiple things. You're going to put yourself out there. You're going to be consistently putting yourself out there and making sure that people can be able to actually see you. All right, so access really matters. All right, access to communities. Because if you're the kind that is just seated and wallowing and not, because for me, my greatest access was really radio. And then after radio, I remember I told you so well that I started with 2 minutes on radio. After 2 minutes, I was given an hour, and an hour in the night. And, you know, being a young girl, I would still move and make sure that I make that hour, that is 11 p.m. And then after that, that is when I got on TV. So you realize that it is platform after platform, and it is a joint effort of the modern platforms and the traditional platforms. But whenever they would call me, I mean, people would invite me, oh, Urban, come at around 6 a.m. At 6 a.m. I would be at Urban. Show up at NBS, and, you know, in the morning show, at such a time, I would show up here, show up here. So for me, it was about, you know what, I mean, you call me, you need me, I am there. I was not this picky person, oh, I feel so important. Now, so many of us, because there are so many strategies, and people are promising fast things, and they're telling you, within a month you will have made it. I will tell you, within a month you cannot make it. Okay, within 3 months you can get the structure, you can start doing, and then you can, you know, you can grow. But again, no one should ever tell you that even if you don't know how to speak, even if you don't know how to create a course, even if you don't know how to create content, even if you have never created content before, in 1 week like this, when you buy this bundle of something, then you are going to be the biggest influencer in the world. That is a lie. Every good thing takes time to get ready. Every good thing takes time to be prepared. So I need you to know that, yes, when you get a mentor, and a true mentor, because there are so many people out there who are promising to be mentors, but again, they want to give you fast things, but not the fast genuine things. All right, they want to be able to sell you a course and tell you that in 1 week it will have changed your life. They want to sell, I've seen people selling courses that have resale rights, and they sell you a course so that you can go and sell it. But how are you going to market yes, you can market a course that you have not made, but if you don't have any contribution, if it's not coming from the inside of you, you don't even know how much valuable it is or what value it gives in people's lives. How are you going to sell that? I know that all these things are happening these days. They are cropping up, but I will tell you, I will still stick to the genuine formulas, to the genuine strategies, to time. Okay, I will stick to the fact that it takes time to build, it takes time to be ready, it takes time to actually, and most times it will appear like it is slow, but I will tell you that this is sedimented growth, that wherever you live, you do not go back. But there is you starting on a high and then crumbling day by day. You do not want to actually do that. Okay, so I need you to give yourself some grace. Okay, but make sure that you access some communities, make sure that you access some media. But how is this media going to pick on you? It's because they know. So whenever I was on radio, I would speak about the same topics. Whenever I was on TV, I would speak about the same topics. For me, it was about relationships. For those of you that have followed me for the longest time, it was about relationships generally, but again, measuring in narcissistic and toxic relationships. So I would be invited in my books, in my writing, Tears on My Pillow, Deliberately Selfish. You realize that I had and I was anchored. So many creators are not anchored in this age and era, and so many eras out there that are springing forth, and you feel there is a calling, you feel an unctioning, you feel your gut feeling is telling you that you're doing the right thing. Yes, you are doing the right thing. Keep doing it, but make sure that you start by going deeper before going wider, because so many of us love going wider before going deeper. So you do not want to some of us feel like we should bring a huge net and we should trap everyone. I mean, no, that is not how it works. Attract a few people that are diehards for what you are doing, and then grow wider, instead of saying that you're going to be everyone's cup of tea. You're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. There are people that are going to love you, and there are people that are not going to love you. Just like companies and organizations, there are people that will die for you and they will want to be with you and collaborate with you, and there are people that will never give a damn. There are people who even don't know about you. You know, these things, social media has a way of lying to us, like we have arrived and we are We're the best known people in the world. Let me tell you, how many people are in Uganda? Do you have those people on your social media platform? How many people are on the globe? Do you have those people? They are not. So that means we are all fulfilling a certain corner of, a certain part of our calling in a certain corner that God wants us to fulfill it in. It's not that you're going to go everywhere. Yes, we can go viral. Yes, we can go everywhere. We can hit the numbers. We can, whatever it is good. But I want you to start while you are anchored. I want you to start strong. I want you to dig deeper before you actually go wider. Okay, because then this is you're going to keep growing for longer years, for many years, because you don't want to just sprout up like the Jack and the beanstalk, that grew up very fast. You don't want to be like that, and then after that you wilt after some months. Why? Because you put in a lot of pressure, because you put yourself on a lot of pressure, and then you try to do many things, and then you wanted to catch these ones, you don't want to miss anyone, and all of a sudden 6 months down the road we ask ourselves, where is so and so, and you are not there to be seen. You want to create a lasting brand, just like when you get into a marriage, you want to create a lasting marriage. I know the situations come, even for brand growth. Situations come, by the way. Fatigue, exhaustion. Sometimes you will just feel like, I think I'm hitting the wall. I think I'm posting and no one is following. I think these things are not working. I think these things are not for me. I think these things are for other people. But if we tell you the stories is, we have taken time to build. This has been organic. These days people don't want organic things. They want fast fried things, and that is not how things actually work so you should be able to look at that. Okay, and then number 2, you should be able to know that this is not just about you. This is not about you. If I was just doing this, and if I had the intention and the energy that I was sending out there, that this is about Bahati, and this is about Bahati, and Bahati is the best kept secret, Bahati is this and Bahati is that. No, for me from day one, it has been about the people that I serve. It has been the people that I meet in therapy. It has been about the people that I meet in my counseling sessions. It has been about the people that I serve on TV, that I serve on radio, that I serve on social media. It's all about the people. It starts and ends with the people. So now, the moment you have that is a heavy attraction. It is magnetic. It is irresistible. When you talk about building a brand, we're not saying build a brand that is hinged around you getting the praises. No, build a brand that is hinged and anchored in helping people, holding their hands, giving them solutions. The moment your niche is that means people are going to follow you willingly. Yesterday I got a question. I was doing a leadership talk, and someone was asking me about followership and telling me that, okay, even leaders have leaders, but what do we do to make sure that the people that are following us, or people tend to follow us, because you can lead people and they can just refuse to follow you. And I remember one of the things that in my responses, when I was responding to him, I told him that people follow what they like, okay? People follow what they love. And the moment you learn to create relationships, the moment you go, because we talked about the 5 levels of leadership, and we talked about the number 1, which is the position. And the position is people follow you because they have to. Okay, people follow you because they have to. That means you are backing orders. That means you are not you're not an intentional leader. Position has actually gotten to your head. But when you get to the second feature, where it has relationship strengthening, you realize that now you tone down and you're like, okay, this is about creating relationships. This is not about giving orders. And so now people start to follow you because they want to. So even when it comes to brands, people follow you because they want to. People don't have, let me tell you, people have a lot of rights. When it comes to social media, people have a lot of rights. So they know what they can like and what they can't like. And if they don't like it, they are not going to follow, or they are going to unfollow. They have so many options. So I want you to keep that in mind. And it's not just about the people that you serve. It's about the people who have the purchasing power that you are able to influence. So you realize that it's the people. anyone that is going to tag along on this journey, anyone that would want to collaborate with you, anyone that would want to be able to give you money to endorse their brands, it's because they want you to endorse it to some people. They know that you have people that are following. They know that you have people. There is one who told me recently, I just did like 2 endorsements for their for whatever they are doing for their jumpers. And this person, the first endorsement, one endorsement like this was like, do you know that I've received more than 60 orders in just a space of 20 minutes? In 20 minutes, he had received 60 orders. So that means this person is not just coming to me, because Bahati is prominent, because Bahati is well known, because Bahati. No, it's my positioning. But what positions me is the people that I am serving, the people that I have served for the past 20 years, the people that, have the buying power, the people that are living normal lives. They have homes, they have cars, they go to supermarkets, they have all these things. They take their children to school. They want. So most people, these are the things that people that are going to seek endorsements. A school will come and tell you that, you know what, I need you to be able to, talk about me. Maybe I'm giving you a deal for 3 months, but it's because they know that there are so many parents that are following you, and they want those parents to be able to take their children to their school. A boutique will come and they're like, okay, if you put on my clothes, if you do, we are going to do a deal for this long. And so that the people that you actually speak, when you go to speaking engagements, when you are on TV, when you're on social media creating your content, people know that this is where you actually get your clothes from, and so they're able to come and buy. So you realize that it's not about you. You are not the end, okay? You are not the alpha and the omega, but what gives you the strength is the people. What gives you the purpose and what makes your purpose active is helping the people. All right, so that means the people are very, very, very important, and that is where we must be very careful to start to understand our superpower. Some of you are speakers. You have found yourself speaking. People have even told you to keep quiet. At school, you've been doing that. In primary, you've been doing that. In secondary, you've been doing that. As in, you are speaking. And you may find that speaking is your superpower. Now we have to be able to go down and understand what is your niche. What are you going to speak about? What are your platforms? What is your what do you want to talk about? Relationships? Do you want to talk about business? What do you want to talk about? Do you know that in this world, I think there are a million niches that people can choose from? A million niches. I have someone in my mentorship who actually just chose to write books to for garage people, for mechanics, and the latest one was Garage to Glory. And it's actually promising to go on the global scene because someone saw it and grabbed it, and I was like, you know what, this is not something that you find just anywhere. This is a passion that goes deeper. And this lady, by the way, she sells spare parts for fusos and trailers, and so she came into mentorship. Now some people think, let me tell you, you can thrive everywhere you are. She didn't seek to change where she was. She didn't seek to go to whatever is prominent. Oh, let me go and start a boutique, or let me go and do this, or let me go and do this. No, she signed up for mentorship. Number one, to learn how to speak, and number two, she learn how to write, and then to be able to position herself as a brand. And she sells, when you mention some of these things, she works in Katwe, selling spare parts for trailers and fusos. She has written 2 books, and she's getting money out of those 2 books. She was telling me recently that her former school actually appointed her on the board of directors. And she's saying big doors are opening for me. I don't know. I didn't even know that I deserved some of these things. And she's one of the people that when she came in and signed up, she actually even asked for a discount. And she was like, and after that, she told me, after she graduated, she told me the reason as to why she asked for a discount is because she had signed up for another mentorship and they did not deliver, not even 0. Like someone else promised a mentorship, people didn't sign up, but she's one of the people that signed. I think she signed, either she signed up alone or a few people, and this mentor decided to ghost them and did not even show up. And now she sees my mentorship, and this is a person that she actually joined in 2020. She was part of the first cohort, and so she was like, I came in, but I was afraid. I was like, what if they take my money like the other person took my money? So she asked for a discount. And I was like, okay, sure, I only want speaking. I was like, I do not just offer one thing. Right now, the mentorship is split up that you can get one thing, but back then it was a whole bundle. So now I told her, no, you cannot get just one thing, but I can see a lot of potential and the desire that you have. And for me, that is what I want. I want you to become something. So I gave her the discount, and I told her, I'm giving you the full package. And my, oh my, when you see where she is, the things that she's doing, and she still longs for more growth. Whenever I bring up more programs, she's the one signing on. Whenever I bring up this, she's the one coming on. Why? She has seen firsthand the power of mentorship, the power of creating a brand, the power of writing, and the power of speaking. All right, so it's about the people, it's not about you. So I don't want you to get all worked up. No, I want you to get the clarity that you need to get. Okay, understand your superpower, understand your platform, and then be consistent to build a name for yourself with your God-given passion. With your God-given passion, as in, so many people are building so many things, but you can build a name for yourself in the marketplace, where people can know you for something, okay? Because you are good at something, you are gifted. You actually don't know, but you are super gifted. So understand that super gift, okay? Understand the platform, and then show up consistently on that platform so that people can be able to actually know you and be able to. So there are strategies about how to build the platforms. I'm actually not going to do that, okay? I'm not going to talk about how to go about the platforms. But the other thing that we can be able to actually do is to be able to create the memorable social media experiences. That is content creation, okay? Content creation that, you know, people want to come back for more. I've seen people on TikTok, okay, and people are carving out brands for they are creating brands for themselves. There is this Buddha guy I watched in the morning. I don't know what his name is, but I know I binge watched, like I think I watched like 10 videos of his, and I was like, people are serious. All he does is he sings. I don't know whether he started as a Buddha man, or the Buddha man is just a brand, because anything can happen these days. But she's singing out loud, and you know, and people are following, and she has thousands and thousands of, you know, of viewership. She's in 6 point something million likes. I mean, people liking her, liking his videos. But you don't have to do anything hard. Sometimes we complicate ourselves, like we're doing everything. We want to be liked. Do you know that repetition in brand creation actually does a lot more? That when you're doing the same thing again and again and again and again and again and again, people tend to like you more than one that is doing 1,000 other things just to make sure that, oh, I look great. I want you to say me that I'm in a nice house. You have seen people that are not even living in nice houses, but they have the greatest following in the world. Okay, there is a Ugandan lady that stays either in China, but in the village side on the remote part of China. And I mean, the kind of following that she has, she lives with her husband, her child, and like the things that people don't need glamorous things. People need to know that you are serious, you're showing up, you are authentic, and they just love you as a person to show up like you and be able to serve them. So can you be able to do that? I know that you can do that. So engage with brands online, okay? Engage with brands online. Other people that, I mean, for me, I have a whole community of more than 1,000 people that have gone through the mentorship class. So each one, I follow each one of them. I know what they are doing. I know where they are at, what is happening. And I have brands that I also love. I enjoy consuming. And so I like them. I follow them. I even like their content. I comment on their content. Now, you don't have to cocoon yourself and feel like you're the almighty community and you're so important that you do not want to follow anyone, or so everyone should follow you, but for you, you don't follow anyone. It doesn't work like that. There has to be a reciprocation, okay? You must be able to show up for others as they show up for you, okay? So I need you to be able to do that. And then your content has to be organic. And then some of us have to create brand kits, okay? Brand kits or media kits are things that explain who you really are. Are you a mother? Are you a wife? What kind of job do you do? There are those of you that still have the 9 to 5 or 8 to 5. And then some of you have gone into building personal brands full time. Some of you are public speakers. Some of you are coaches. Some of you, as in, what exactly are you doing? What should we know about you when we tag along? That is why, because brands love numbers. These days, they don't love over-exaggerated numbers, but they want where the engagement is, okay? Because they need to know that you're engaging with normal people. And it's not just that you bought a following. People buy following, by the way. People buy likes. That is not something that you should be. This should be organic, because what they want to see is normal people engaging with your content. So you should be able to do that. Come up with a media kit, you know, who you are, what you do, what you have done in the past, what is your following on the different pages, what kind of content are you creating, what kind of pricing are you giving. So you create a media kit so that people know you. But I would suggest that you create a media kit after you have practiced for some time, after you have been up and about. Networking events are also good. Industry events are also good. So if you're the kind, you should be able to ask yourself, where are other creators? Where are they meeting? When are they meeting? Can I be able to subscribe to their community? Can I be able to show up? And when I show up, can I leave an impression? Because where can I shine? People are shining in conversation. People are shining in content creation. People are shining as an indifferent. That is why God is so wise in his all-knowing capacity. He knew that we will all thrive in one way or another. There is one that is for those of you that have followed Ugandan brands, you know there are those that are dealing in decor. There are those that are dealing in interior design. There are those that are dealing in motherhood. There are those that are dealing in marriage. There are those that are dealing in whatever it is. There are in so many other places. So find somewhere that you can be hooked, find a community, and then get to know. Because other people, so many companies are giving out brand deals. Agencies are giving out brand deals. But can you grow your brand? Can you be consistent? Can you give yourself time? And when people start asking and they're like, oh, we see you're doing this kind of work and we'll be able to work with you. Sometimes you might have to create posts and even tag some companies and organizations. And sometimes you might even have to go out of your way, purchase some of those things and be able to, not everyone that you see, by the way, doing brand influencing, there are people at a certain level that have to stimulate that kind of response from the organization. So they are able to say, okay, let me just buy these products and then let me work with them. And when they see them, maybe they are going to actually come out and be able to do that. Some people do, some people don't do. You choose what works for you, okay? Because in this market, in this age and era, in my days, I didn't have to actually do that because, for me, it was organic. No one was holding my hand. No one was telling me what to do. There is no day I ever asked a question, how do I land a brand deal? How do I? So for me, it was just about serving people. By the way, my whole idea of everything was just about serving people. But the more I served people, the more the doors opened. The more I served people, the more media opened. The more I served people, the more doors to nations opened. The more I served people, the more the brand deals came. The more I served people. So for me, it was a people-centered approach. And up to now, it still is a people-centered approach. And my approach will never change, not for anything. It's all about serving God's people. Full stop. Now, everything else is like what the Bible talks about, that, seek the kingdom and everything shall be added unto you. Now, for me, I'm a big believer in that. Seek the kingdom. What is the kingdom? The kingdom are God's people, serving them and, being there for them, mentoring them. And do I do this free of charge? Some of it is free of charge. Do I do paid services? Actually, most of my services are paid for. Because, again, you can't build a brand and get to where I am and you expect that you're going to give everything free, because you will never have time. I'm chasing away sessions. I'm telling people right now, I'm not taking any more sessions. You know, I am booked for the year. I am booked for the remaining months of the year in this kind of arena, in one-on-one sessions. So that means I barely have time. So I can't give free services right now. Most of my service, 80% of my services are actually paid for, and I would say they're quite highly priced. Why? Because I have taken time to invest in myself. I have invested in myself, sweat, blood, money, to make sure that I get to where I am. And my number one priority is to serve people, and serve them with criteria and strategies and clarity that can actually get them to where they want to get, condensing the time and not allowing them to bump into the hardships that I bumped into, to make sure that they have an easier road to where. But again, I still don't promise an easier road to them. I tell them everything worthwhile is hard. Everything, even building a brand is hard. Even choosing a niche is hard. Even creating content is hard. Whatever it is, everything worth doing is hard. It's an uphill task. So that is why I usually tell people in my class that there is no competition for you. There is no competition. Let me tell you, there has never, and I have never looked at myself as competing with anyone. Do you know why? The people willing to do hard things are few, very few. That out of 100, 2 people are willing to do the hard things, or even 1 person is willing to do the hard things. So that means I'm in my own league. In my own league. Not to say I'm the greatest. No, I'm not the greatest. But I wake up every day doing the things that people don't want to do, showing up, being consistent, and, you know, in the hard days, in the simple days, in whatever it is, I just made a covenant that, God, I will serve you. And I keep making this covenant that, God, I'm going to serve you for the rest of my life. I am going to help your people for the rest of my life. I am sold out to that, and that is my only way of living. Every day I wake up, I go to bed, you know, thinking about solutions, thinking about how to help people, and that is all I do. So I will tell you, 1% or 2% of the people in the world are willing to do the hard things. So that means whenever I'm talking about content creation, I can have a class of 150 people, and I will know that in that class, and this is not just to say for the sake of saying, I will know that in that class I will have 20 people or 30 people that are actually going to go at it, and maybe I will have another 20 that is going to come following sheepishly, and maybe I will know I will have so I am not surprised at my people that so many times when I see others running, and I tell them, keep at your own pace, don't copy and paste, make sure that you create your own rhythm. And I will tell you this, some people after graduation, they take another whole year without even activating what is inside of them. And this is what I tell them, that when you come into me, when you come into my vicinity, when you come into my proximity, when you come into my mentorship, I will deposit all the seeds that I need, and I will keep watering those seeds. That is why even after a year or 3 years or 2 years of being in my mentorship, I'll still ask you, how are you doing? What are you doing? Can we have a lunch? Can we meet at office? I want to know what is happening in your life. And so many people have started actually activating their gifts a year after or 2 years after. So it is never too late. You should not just bump into things and follow the bandwagon. Create your own rhythm, but make sure you do not take too long. Make sure you do not take too long. Okay? So the quality of what you produce also matters. Make sure that you're producing good quality. These days we have so many other supporting apps, and most of these apps actually, they have given us all the tools that we need. That within Instagram, as you're posting a reel, you can be able to edit it, you can be able to color correct, you can be able to cut it, you can be able to resize it, you can be able to include music, you can be able to whatever it is. There's so many like things. You can change the fonts, you can whatever. So that means you actually have the tools in your hands. Some of you are saying, oh, I will wait until I have a good camera. Don't wait until you have a good camera. Use what you have right now. Or there are other content creation studios that have been opened that you can be able to ask, okay, what are your lowest package, or what is this package entailing? Okay, let me come and be able to shoot this content. Work with people, deal with people, but make sure that it is actually growing and it is not just staying being static. Okay, for some of us are going to use affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is when you are actually selling for another brand, but for a commission. Okay, that let me just say, I think I did it with one company here, and that is when people come in and buy, it's commission based. So you just decide and say, I'm going to choose 3 products of this affiliation package, and so I'm going to start promoting them. I'm going to create content about them, and when people go and buy, they give me a code. So when people go and buy this kind of product, that means they are going to buy under my code. That means it's the people that I'm influencing. They're going to say, oh okay, Bahati gave us a code, a discount code, so I'm going to feed in a discount code in the website, or I'm going to go to that company, to that shop, and tell them that this is my discount code, and that code is written or registered under Bahati. So that means that when they buy on my portfolio, on my as in the commission is actually self-explanatory. So I can log into my account and know how much commission I am getting, how many people bought under my name, under my code. That is affiliate marketing, and it is actually very helpful. Okay, make sure that you post consistently, make sure that your visuals are quality, make sure that you engage with other people and in comments, and even on your own posts, make sure that you do that. Make sure that you use hashtags. That is not, it's not really my thing, but they have worked for other people. So if you want to try out the hashtags, you can try hashtags. You can collaborate with other creators, because then if someone collaborates with me, for some of the people whose content, and these are mainly people in my mentorship, I see their content and then I put it on my stories. When I share it in my stories, they're getting more visibility from people that did not even follow them but follow me. So that means I am literally collaborating with them and redirecting traffic to them. That actually helps so many people. Okay, so and there's so many so many types of content. We're not going to go into that, but I just need you to be able to position yourself. But I need you to know that this is more about people helping. If you want to give a solution, say for example for the people that are selling bells, okay, I've dealt with people that are selling bells, clothes bells, or we know, and you know, downtown, and so they want to help people to find better clothes, or they want people to come and buy from them, and you know, they keep explaining the sizes, and they keep explaining what flatters your body, and they keep explaining. So people have gone an extra mile to understand the art of positioning themselves, the messaging, who are you talking to, and how do they want to be talked to, what do they understand, what is their language, where are they in life, what is their purchasing power, because it's possible you're selling expensive things, but again you're attracting a market of people that are not actually willing, they don't have the buying power, or you are talking to the mass market, but again, the people that you should be able to talk to are the people in the A and B, okay, but you're talking to E. So I want you to be able to, when you join the mentorship, we explain all that, but for now I need you to be able to know that it all surrounds one thing: serving people, understanding your niche, creating consistent content. If you need to understand how to create content, still join the Mentorship Academy. If you want to understand how to become a coach, join the Mentorship Academy. To become a counselor, to become a public speaker, or to polish your public speaking skills, or even to actually grow in your professional speaking skills. Some people are in their professions, they're in their jobs, but they even don't know how to speak up for themselves, even to lobby for that promotion, even to, you just don't know how to position yourself. We need to be able to do this. There are so many benefits apart from just landing brand deals. Brand deals is just one of the things. Actually, in the mentorship, I teach branding and becoming a brand influencer as just one of the income streams. For example, I don't know how many income streams I have, but all of them are active, all of them are bringing in money, but brand deals is one of them, just one of them. So it's just one piece out of the 12 other pieces that are actually, you know, because I have merchandise, I have speaking engagements, there are so many, I have personal businesses, but you realize that I have coachings, one-on-one therapy sessions, you know, group coaching and all that. So it is just one part, but there are people who are flourishing with just that one part. They are maximizing it, they're putting all the effort, and they're getting the money out of it. So in this age and era, guys, You cannot say, I don't have a, if you have a phone, you can actually do something. You can start something. And 5 years down the road, you'll be so glad that you actually started. So I just wanted to give you the basics. I hope that you have the basics. One thing like this, it can actually bring you so much joy in the creating, and then it can give you so much money, but it can impact so many people's lives. And so do not just sit on it. I hope I answered your questions, and I hope that you can join us in the mentorship so you can learn so many things. Bless you.